Alright guys, so here we are testing out the countdown game mode. As you can see, we're still getting some minor issues here with matchmaking, not being able to matchmake into groups. I go to accept and it doesn't happen, so I have to keep doing it. So hopefully that'll be ironed out when the PTS ends and the update does go live. But what I wanted to do today was actually just test out, oh, we're in a group now, test out the difficulty of countdown. So obviously it's been changed a lot with this phase 2. The enemies are a lot more difficult to take down, I believe, but they're not any more lethal. So let's test it out and let's see what the difficulty feels like. Alright, so here we go. Now in terms of my build, I'm running a skill damage build, similar to the one that I have in my actual account on my on console, but not nearly as good. It's also missing a couple of talents, and I'm not able to use the technician specialization for this because it's not fully done up and stuff, so it's not as good as that. But I wanted to check out a skill build here because this is the kind of build that I would run if I was running in this mode. So let's see how we get on. And see what the difficulty feels like. At the moment I seem to be playing on my own, which is and I'm also running a PDR, which is not a weapon I would normally run, but I don't have the mechanical animal that I want to use, so I'm not able to use it. So I can already tell, whilst this is much more difficult than it was before. Even though before I wasn't running a skill build, this is way more difficult than it was before. I think lethality-wise, it's not much of an issue at the minute. It's more that the enemy health is significantly increased. It's not overly difficult though. I mean, I'm playing matchmaking at the minute, and especially if you've got 3 or 4 of you in a room, then it's not going to be too hard. Has he got a... I thought he had a Christmas hat on then. Let's get my turret back. And let's put the turret out somewhere where it can be a little bit more effective than it is right now. Okay. Alright, so far I've got to admit it's not... I mean, the good thing is that I'm running a skill build. Generally speaking, the enemies aren't really paying much attention to me, and there are a couple of people here. You know, if you're doing this solo, this is going to be incredibly... But there's incredibly difficult, but there's no doubt this is way more difficult than before. The enemy health is quite... It feels like quite a lot more than it was before. Okay. My skills go ahead and do their thing because I don't have much in the way of health with this build, as you just saw. I guess in my head I'm thinking, okay, so how would this feel for a casual player? Because this mode is... Yannick said this mode is mainly for people, you know, who want almost a casual experience. They want to jump in for 15 minutes, have some, you know, intense fun, get some loot, jump back out, right? That's kind of what the premise was of this game mode. And I've always said that my main concern with the buffs they wanted to do to players, to NPCs' health, is that it shies away from that casual experience. And I've always said that my solution would be just have two game modes, just 2 difficulties, and that way I think it will appease everyone. You know, you've got that casual audience that will be happy with a normal mode, and then you'll have... You know, you'll have the hardcore people who run Legendary like it's nothing, who will have the hard mode. I think at the moment, if there was 2 modes and this was to be the normal mode, this is too difficult for... I keep thinking he's got a hat on. This would be too difficult for the casual player. I think this is too much, personally, from what I can tell at the minute. So we've got 6.5 minutes left. Oh, guys, what I found out actually is if you complete these objectives... oh no. See, this is where I will get wrecked, because... And my own... Yeah, see, this is the problem with a skill build, is you basically can't fight hunters. And I do think the hunters are ridiculous when it comes to this. I'm going to get one tapped. I'm literally doing no damage. I mean, I am using the worst gun ever. But... And I can't use skills. Oh, he's actually coming in. Stop killing my stuff. Let's get him. These hunters are tough. They feel way more tough than before. Wow. Okay. I mean, if there's 4 of you taking on that, then you should be alright, but there wasn't. So that felt incredibly difficult. Which is how hunters should be. They should be difficult to take down, for sure. But again, I'm going back to this casual experience because I think that's what Massive want from this. And I just feel like this is... The increase in health to the NPCs is too much. I feel like it's moved away from that casual experience and is no longer that anymore. I also hate the fact that you're always under status effects. So when you use skill builds, they are pretty much null and void. And I think that's ridiculous. I think they really need to tone down on the... I'm about to get melted here. I'm literally using the wrong build for this. Grab the chest. We've only got 1:14 left. I mean, I've never been this close to losing with this. I never had any problems in before. This is actually a lot more difficult. Problem is that when the enemies are quite a bit more difficult, they compound on each other, right? It might take you 10 seconds, you know, to take down an enemy more than it was before. I'm dead. More than before. I just got melted. More than before, right? But if you times that by the amount of enemies there are, if you're looking at 50 enemies, then what's that? Extra 5 minutes? And that's the problem. When you increase the difficulty even by the slightest amount, it compounds itself. So, I mean, this could be the first failure I've ever got. I mean, I think that says it all, to be honest. See, again, with my skills at the end on the extraction, they're absolutely useless because these hunters are just going to stop me using these skills. What's the point of me having skills if the hunters are just going to constantly stop me from using them? I mean, I'm not even getting hit markers here. I'm manually the head rush. They're absolutely rushing the hell out of us. My skills disrupted? Yeah, they are. Again, they're doing nothing. My skills are doing nothing. I am useless right now. Absolutely useless. When you've got 8 hunters, or however many it is, 6 hunters, and they're all, like, jamming intermittently, skills are doing nothing. I know this was meant to be about difficulty, which I think I've discussed enough, to be honest, guys. I think you understand where I sit with difficulty on this now. I think that ultimately this no longer feels like a casual experience, and I don't want that, personally. I did want it to be a little bit more difficult. I said that. I said that difficulty was an issue, but I feel like it's gone too far, personally. There we go, guys. That should say it all, really. I wasn't using the best build, but I am using a build that is way better than it was from Phase 1 of the PTS. And Phase 1 of the PTS was a breeze for the most part. I think there was maybe one time where it was a little bit difficult, but generally speaking, it was a breeze. This is not a breeze. And especially when you get to the extraction point here, I feel useless as a skill player with a skill build. And the amount of hunters there are, it's way more difficult than before. And I don't think this is a casual experience anymore. So my plea to Massive is we need 2 difficulties. Okay? We need normal, which should be as it was in Phase 1 of the PTS. Maybe the tiniest bit more difficult, but really I think it was fine as a normal mode. And then we need a hard mode, a hard mode for the people that do Legendary. I think that has to happen. So that's my 2 cents, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this one. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. I think most people would agree with me on this. I really do. I feel like the idea of having 2 game modes, 2 difficulty modes, will appease the whole audience, rather than having the 1 difficulty, which I think at the moment, at least the way it's currently balanced, the casual audience won't want to play this too much, and I don't think this is hard enough for the hardcore audience. So I don't think it's really appeasing anyone in its current state. Thanks very much for watching. Until the next one, Epic out.